Hare Krishna. So yesterday we saw how, because of the blowing of conch shells of the Pandava army, the hearts of the Kaurava clan were shattered. So today we move ahead and the focus of Srimad Bhagavad Gita shifts from Kauravas or Duryodhan to Arjun. And we have Arjun who's thinking and who will be speaking from now on. So we move ahead to the 20th verse of the first chapter today. It goes, अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् idam ah mahipate. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to the Lord these words. So we have seen that the Dhritarashtras or Kauravas were really saddened to see the military phalanx of Pandavas, because they practically did not expect Pandavas to amass this much of strength. Also, here the entire focus is on the way Arjuna is seated. He is seated on a chariot which is marked with Kapi, or Kapi here stands for monkey or Hanumanji. We see in Ramayana, Hanumanji was the most formidable warrior who was there from Lord Ram's side in the battlefield against Lankesh Ravan. And this Hanumanji is again present here in the battlefield of Mahabharata, but as a flag bearer of Arjuna's chariot. This is the way a Vaishnava acts. Mahajano yena gatah sapantha. So Arjuna is thinking, my dear Hanumanji, in Ramayana you did heroic tasks in order to rescue Sita Maya and to kill the upstart Ravan. Now here I am fighting with Kauravas. Please help me in this endeavor. Also, we see that Bhima, who is having the strength of 10,000 elephants as we know, once because of great pride for his prowess, he was going through the jungles, and Hanumanji wanted to bring this prowess down. So Hanumanji, he took the form of a very old monkey and he put his tail in between the path from which Bhima was supposed to cross. When Bhima came, Bhima requested in one sense in his attitude that, oh old monkey, take your tail aside. Hanumanji as an old monkey said, oh, I am so very worn and old, I can't even move my tail. You please move my tail. So Bhima, he tried to move Hanumanji's tail. Of course, that time did not know that this was Hanumanji. He thought this is just an old monkey. So he just touched Hanumanji's tail, but it did not move. What was the need to move the tail? It is said that one should never ever cross over somebody's body, because the body is also a place where Lord resides in every body as Paramatma. So body is a place or temple for Lord's residence, so it should never be crossed over. So Bhima, knowing this very well, he did not wanted to cross over the old monkey's tail. But when the old monkey was not ready, Bhima said, I will move it aside, and he tried to just fling it. He could not. He put his one hand's endeavor. He could not budge an inch. He put both the hands and the tail did not move. Finally, Bhima said, My dear sir, you are somebody more than what you seem to be. At that time, Hanumanji showed his actual form. And Bhima, he prostrated himself in front of Hanumanji. And Hanumanji very gladly gave a benediction to Bhima that I will be present with you in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And when you will shout, my shouting will also reverberate along with your shout, increasing the amplitude of the shout. So that's why we see in Mahabharata it is mentioned that when Bhima would shout angrily, even elephants would pass urine and stool. That was the strength or effect of Bhima's shout. So here is Bhima who is having blessings from Hanumanji. Arjuna is having blessings from Hanumanji. So their victory is certain. Also the most important point is that Hanumanji, being the most important warrior in Ramayana, is reduced to the size of just an emblem of flag in Mahabharata. Can you imagine Ramayana war without Hanumanji? No. In fact, at one point of time when Sugriva became unconscious and somehow Sushena, their doctor-in-chief, he brought Sugriva back to consciousness. The first question Sugriva asks is Hanuman alive? He does not ask if Ram is alive or Lakshman is alive. Why? Because Sugriva very well knows that the result of this victory is completely dependent just on Hanumanji. That is the importance of Hanumanji in Ramayana. But here we see this Hanumanji is merely reduced to a spectator who has to shout. What does this say? It shows that none of us are indispensable. At some point of time, we must all give up our forefront roles and take a step back. The more we are ready to do it with willingness ourselves, it's best. Otherwise, to one's ego, this is really troublesome. In Ramayana also we see Jambavan and Hanumanji's conversation. When the question comes of jumping 100 yojanas to go to Lanka, and they are discussing who will be able to jump, Jambavan says that when I was young, in a single jump I could do 11 pradakshinas of the entire earth, what to speak of 100 yojanas. But now I am old, I will not be able to jump this much. So Jambavan gives the credit of jumping to Hanumanji. Hanumanji there jumped, did heroic tasks, but now in Mahabharata he gives the credit of victory to Arjuna. This is the way life cycle goes. One must do one's acts and at an important point of time pass on the baton to somebody else and concentrate oneself only on what Krishna wants me to do. In Ramayana, Lord Ram wanted Hanumanji to do everything. Here in Mahabharata, Lord Krishna wanted Hanumanji only to be a flag bearer as an emblem. So Hanumanji has no problem. If you want me to have a lead role, I am happy. If you want me to just be an emblem, I am happy. This is the way a devotee is. He is always dependent and guided by the way the Lord wants him to function. Hare Krishna.